Chosen one, someone fell in love with you. Age won't stop what God ordained. There is something very gentle, yet very powerful moving through this moment, and it is not an accident that these words have reached your eyes right now, because the love that God prepares for a chosen soul does not arrive by coincidence or by human timing, but by divine intention that has been quietly unfolding for a long time. This moment carries a quiet urgency because some hearts need to hear this truth today, and the peace or hope you have been waiting for may be closer than you ever imagined. If this touches your spirit, and you feel a gentle agreement rising inside your heart, type 1414. Many people spend years believing that certain doors are closed forever, especially when time seems to move forward, and the world keeps whispering that some seasons of life are already finished. Yet the love that God prepares does not follow the calendar of the world, because heaven never measures destiny with the limited clocks that people use every day. When the Creator places two hearts on a path toward one another, no number of years, no distance, and no human doubt has the authority to stop what has already been written with divine purpose. Some people listening today have quietly carried a hidden sadness for a long time because they believed that love had passed them by, or that their chance for companionship had already faded into the past. Yet God sees every silent tear that was never shared with anyone else, and He understands every quiet moment when the heart wondered if something beautiful would ever come again. The gentle truth is that heaven does not abandon those who continue walking with faith, even when the road becomes lonely. If you feel in your spirit that God is still working behind the scenes of your life, type 1515. There are stories that never reach the public eye but remain written inside the quiet pages of heaven. One of those stories may belong to you. Somewhere, perhaps closer than you realize, there is a person whose heart has been slowly learning to care for you, even if you do not yet see the full picture. Their love did not begin yesterday, and it did not appear suddenly without meaning. God often plants feelings in a heart long before two people fully recognize the purpose behind them. This love is not rushed, and it is not shallow like the temporary affection that the world often celebrates. It grows slowly, quietly, and gently, like a seed placed in warm soil that begins growing roots long before anyone sees the first small leaf above the ground. God knows that lasting love must be built on patience, kindness, and spiritual understanding, so He allows time to shape hearts until they are ready to recognize one another. Within the next few moments of this reflection, take a small second to gently press the like button, because your simple support allows this message of hope and faith to reach other hearts who may also need comfort and encouragement today. The person who has begun loving you may have noticed something special about your spirit long before you realized your own strength. Sometimes a chosen person carries a quiet light that others can feel, even when they cannot explain it with words. That light is not created by human effort alone, but by the presence of God slowly shaping the soul through experiences, lessons, and moments of growth. You may have walked through seasons that felt confusing or painful, and at times you may have wondered why certain relationships never lasted, or why certain paths suddenly closed without warning. Yet God sees far beyond the limited view that people have in the present moment. Many endings that once felt disappointing were actually acts of protection, quietly guiding you away from connections that were never meant to remain. God prepares the right love with the same care that a gardener uses when tending a beautiful garden. He removes what could harm the soil, He waters the roots when they feel dry, and He patiently waits until the right season arrives for new growth to appear. Nothing that God plants in your life is random or careless. There are moments when people believe that their age has already placed them outside the circle of new beginnings, especially when society often praises youth and forgets the deep beauty that grows within a heart over time. Yet heaven sees age in a very different way. Each year adds wisdom, compassion, and depth that make love stronger and more meaningful. When God brings two people together later in life, their connection often carries a rare gentleness and understanding that younger hearts sometimes need years to learn. They appreciate small moments more deeply. They listen more carefully. They recognize the quiet miracles hidden in everyday life. The person who is slowly falling in love with you may admire the kindness that you offer to others without expecting recognition. They may see the patience that you developed through difficult experiences. They may feel comfort simply by being near the peaceful strength that God placed within your character. Heaven sometimes allows love to arrive when two people have already walked through enough life to truly understand gratitude. Instead of rushing through emotions, they hold each moment with tenderness and respect, knowing that every shared smile and every gentle conversation is a gift. God is not limited by time, and He is not concerned with the opinions that the world spreads about what is possible or impossible. What He ordains will always find a way to unfold at the right moment, even when human logic cannot fully understand the path. Some chosen people carry a quiet story of perseverance that others rarely see. They continued believing in goodness, even when disappointment tried to take away their hope. They continued offering kindness, even when life felt unfair. These qualities create a spiritual beauty that shines more brightly than physical appearance ever could. A newly revealed 7-second brainwave method, backed by neuroscience and once hidden in classified documents, is helping thousands activate their brain's wealth setting. People refer to it as the money magnet sound because of how quickly it appears to attract abundance. Click the link in the description and comments below to awaken the prosperity already within you. The person who loves you may feel drawn to this quiet strength inside you. They may sense peace when they listen to your voice or when they observe the gentle way you treat others. Their heart may recognize something sacred about the presence that God formed within you. Sometimes love begins with a simple moment of respect or admiration that slowly grows into something deeper. A conversation that seemed ordinary may linger in the memory longer than expected. A small act of kindness may leave a lasting impression that continues warming the heart long after the moment has passed. God often uses these quiet beginnings to guide two people toward a shared future. Instead of loud announcements or dramatic signs, the path unfolds through gentle steps that slowly bring hearts closer together. The chosen soul often feels that something meaningful is approaching even before the full story becomes clear. A sense of anticipation may appear during peaceful moments of reflection. A quiet hope may rise during prayer or while walking through an ordinary day. This feeling is not imagination. It is the subtle whisper of divine preparation. Heaven has already seen the day when two paths cross with new understanding and joy. Heaven already knows the moment when laughter returns more easily, when companionship brings comfort, and when the heart realizes that God never forgot the promises placed within it. Age will never stop what God has ordained, because divine plans exist beyond human limitations. The Creator who designed every heartbeat also understands exactly when two lives are meant to meet and grow together. Some people listening right now have carried loneliness for longer than they ever expected. Yet God has been gently guiding every step, even when the road seemed quiet and uncertain. The future still holds beautiful chapters that have not yet been opened. Love prepared by God does not rush into life like a storm. It arrives with calm, warmth, patience, and sincerity. It honors the experiences that shaped each person and celebrates the wisdom gained along the journey. This love will not ask you to become someone different. It will recognize the goodness that already lives within you and appreciate the soul that God carefully formed over many years. There are moments when a person suddenly realizes that someone has been watching them with quiet admiration for a long time. This admiration does not come from curiosity alone, but from a deep respect for the spirit that God placed inside you. The person who is falling in love with you may have noticed the gentle strength that carried you through difficult years, and they may feel inspired by the way you continued believing in goodness even when circumstances tested your faith. Many chosen souls develop a quiet compassion that cannot be easily explained. They learn to comfort others because they once experienced pain themselves. They speak with kindness because they understand how deeply words can affect the human heart. These qualities grow slowly over time, and they create a presence that feels safe and peaceful to those who come near. The person who loves you may have felt this peace without fully understanding why their heart felt drawn toward you. Sometimes love begins as a simple sense of comfort, a feeling that being near someone brings calmness to the mind and warmth to the spirit. God often uses this gentle peace as the first step in building a connection that will later grow into something deeper. If your heart feels comforted by the idea that God still prepares beautiful relationships even after many years have passed, type 1212. There is something very sacred about love that develops slowly and naturally under the guidance of God. It does not demand attention or rush into dramatic displays. Instead, it grows through simple conversations, shared smiles, and quiet moments when two people begin to recognize the goodness within each other. Sometimes the chosen person does not immediately believe that someone could truly care for them again. Past disappointments may have built walls around the heart, creating a cautious distance that protects old wounds from reopening. God understands this hesitation, and He never forces love to move faster than the heart can comfortably accept. Instead, He allows patience to do its quiet work. The person who loves you may show their care through gentle actions rather than loud promises. They may listen carefully when you speak, remember small details that others forget, and offer encouragement during moments when your spirit needs support. These simple acts slowly reveal a truth that becomes difficult to ignore. A heart that truly cares will always show itself through kindness, respect, and steady presence. God also knows that love becomes stronger when two people appreciate the journey that shaped them. Your experiences, both joyful and painful, have formed a unique story that cannot be replaced by anyone else. The person who loves you may admire this story rather than wishing it had been different. They may see beauty in the wisdom that you gained through challenges. They may respect the courage that allowed you to continue moving forward even when life felt uncertain. To them, your years are not a limitation, but a testimony of strength and perseverance. Age does not weaken the kind of love that God prepares for His chosen ones. In many ways, it deepens the connection because both hearts have learned the true value of peace, honesty, and emotional safety. Instead of chasing excitement that fades quickly, they cherish the calm joy of genuine companionship. When two people meet under God's guidance later in life, they often carry a deeper awareness of gratitude. Every shared moment feels meaningful because they understand how precious time truly is. A simple walk, a warm conversation, or a moment of laughter can feel like a quiet miracle when experienced with the right person. The love growing toward you may also carry a sense of spiritual recognition. Sometimes two hearts feel connected because they share a similar devotion to God and a similar desire to live with kindness and humility. This shared faith becomes the foundation that keeps the relationship steady through every season. A 7-second brainwave practice, once reserved for select circles and concealed in classified files, has now been made public. and many describe it as the 30-second miracle. Experts say it awakens a dormant brain center connected to wealth and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it is taken down from the internet again. God designed human hearts to long for companionship, understanding, and gentle affection. These desires are not weaknesses, but part of the beautiful design that allows people to support one another through life's journey. When love appears under God's blessing, it becomes a source of healing rather than confusion. Many people listening today have spent years giving love to others without always receiving the same care in return. They offered loyalty, patience, and kindness. Yet some relationships ended without the respect they deserved. Those painful experiences can leave the heart feeling cautious about believing in love again. Yet God sees the sincerity that was always present in your intentions. He remembers every moment when you tried to bring peace into a difficult situation. He remembers every silent prayer whispered during lonely nights. None of those moments were wasted. The person who is falling in love with you may feel grateful for the qualities that life helped develop within you. They may see your compassion as a rare gift. They may appreciate the calm wisdom that appears in your words when others feel overwhelmed. Love that grows from this kind of admiration is not fragile or temporary. It is steady, patient, and deeply respectful. It values the soul of a person more than any superficial attraction. Sometimes the chosen person begins noticing small signs that something new is unfolding. A certain person may begin appearing more often in daily life. Conversations may feel more meaningful than ordinary exchanges. A sense of familiarity may develop even when the connection is still new. These moments are not random. God often arranges circumstances in quiet ways that gently bring two paths closer together. Instead of dramatic signs, the connection grows through natural interactions that slowly reveal the presence of something special. The person who loves you may feel a quiet joy whenever they see you. They may feel inspired by your calm presence and uplifted by the sincerity of your heart. These feelings may continue growing until they realize that what they feel is more than admiration. Love that God prepares is rarely built on sudden excitement alone. It develops through steady appreciation, growing trust, and genuine understanding. Each conversation adds another small thread that slowly weaves two lives together. Many chosen souls underestimate the beauty that others see in them. They may focus on their imperfections or the years that have passed, forgetting that true beauty shines from the spirit rather than from outward appearance. The person who loves you may see a radiance within your character that you rarely notice yourself. They may see kindness in the way you speak to strangers. They may notice patience in the way you handle difficult situations. They may admire the humility that guides your decisions and the faith that continues to guide your steps. These qualities create a quiet attraction that grows stronger over time. Instead of fading like temporary fascination, it deepens into respect and affection that feels safe and sincere. If you believe that God can still bring unexpected joy into your life, type yes. As this connection continues developing, you may begin sensing a gentle shift inside your own heart. The idea of companionship may no longer feel distant or impossible. Hope may quietly return, replacing the old belief that certain blessings had already passed you by. God often restores hope in small steps rather than overwhelming changes. A peaceful conversation may leave you smiling longer than expected. A kind gesture may brighten your entire day. These moments are reminders that love is not restricted by age, history, or past disappointment. The person who loves you may also be walking through their own journey of healing and growth. They may have experienced challenges that taught them patience and empathy. These shared experiences create understanding that allows both hearts to support each other gently. When God brings two people together after years of life experience, their connection often carries a maturity that allows them to build something stable and meaningful. They recognize that love is not only about emotion, but also about commitment, respect, and shared values. This kind of relationship becomes a peaceful refuge where both people feel accepted exactly as they are. There is no need for pretense or unrealistic expectations. Instead, there is room for honesty, encouragement, and mutual growth. God does not rush the unfolding of something so precious. He allows the connection to grow naturally, ensuring that both hearts are ready to appreciate the gift that is forming between them. Every small moment of kindness, every thoughtful word, and every shared smile becomes part of the foundation that supports the future. And while the world may continue repeating its narrow ideas about timing and age, heaven quietly continues writing a story that refuses to follow those limitations. God understands the delicate nature of the human heart, especially when it has experienced disappointment in the past. Because of this, He rarely introduces new love with sudden force or overwhelming emotion. Instead, He allows comfort and familiarity to grow slowly between two people, allowing their hearts to recognize one another in a calm and natural way. The person who has fallen in love with you may have spent many quiet moments reflecting on the qualities that make you special. They may admire the way you carry yourself with humility, even when life becomes complicated. They may appreciate the gentle patience you show when others feel overwhelmed or discouraged. Over time, admiration like this begins transforming into something deeper. A simple appreciation for someone's character gradually becomes a sincere affection that warms the heart each time that person enters the room. God often allows this transformation to happen quietly, protecting the connection from outside pressures until the right moment arrives. A rare 7-second morning ritual, previously hidden in classified documents, is re-emerging, and people are already sharing accounts of swift financial advancement. It takes almost no time, yet it triggers a dormant wealth switch in the brain that most people never use. Click the link in the description and comments now to access it before it vanishes. Sometimes the chosen person may notice that conversations with this individual feel unusually meaningful. Words may flow easily, and silence may feel comfortable rather than awkward. Even simple discussions about everyday life may leave both hearts feeling uplifted and peaceful afterward. This sense of emotional safety is one of the most precious gifts God places within a genuine connection. When two people feel free to speak honestly without fear of judgment, their hearts begin forming a bond that grows stronger with every shared experience. If your spirit believes that God is gently preparing something beautiful within your future, type 1919. Many chosen souls once believed that their opportunity for love had already passed. They watched others build relationships while quietly wondering whether their own story would remain different. Yet heaven never forgets the desires that God Himself placed inside the human heart. The longing for companionship is not a weakness, and it is not something that fades simply because time moves forward. It remains part of the design that God created within every person. When He decides that the moment has arrived for love to bloom, no human opinion can prevent that blessing from unfolding. Age often teaches lessons that younger hearts have not yet discovered. It teaches patience during difficult moments, and gratitude during peaceful seasons. It also teaches the value of sincerity and emotional honesty within relationships. Because of this wisdom, love that appears later in life often carries a rare depth that cannot easily be replaced. Instead of chasing temporary excitement, both hearts appreciate the quiet beauty of simply being understood. The person who loves you may feel grateful for the calm stability that your presence brings into their life. They may notice that your words carry thoughtful understanding rather than impulsive reactions. They may feel encouraged by the faith that continues guiding your decisions even during uncertain moments. This admiration slowly creates emotional trust. The heart begins realizing that it is safe to care deeply for someone who shares similar values and spiritual devotion. God uses this trust as the foundation for a relationship that can grow steadily over time. There are also moments when the chosen soul begins noticing a change within themselves. The heavy feeling that once surrounded the idea of love may begin lifting. Instead of remembering past disappointments, the heart may begin imagining the possibility of peaceful companionship once again. God often restores hope gently, so that the heart can accept it without fear. Small moments of kindness begin replacing old memories of hurt. Encouraging words slowly rebuild confidence that may have been lost in earlier relationships. The person who loves you may not rush to express everything immediately, because sincere affection often develops with patience and careful thought. They may spend time observing how your spirit shines through everyday actions. They may appreciate the sincerity in your voice and the warmth in your presence. Love that grows in this quiet way is rarely fragile. It develops through genuine respect rather than superficial attraction. It values character, kindness, and spiritual strength above temporary appearances. Some people assume that romance must always be loud and dramatic in order to be real. Yet the love that God prepares often feels calm, peaceful, and steady. Instead of overwhelming the heart with confusion, it brings clarity and emotional comfort. When two people feel peaceful in each other's presence, it becomes easier to trust the connection forming between them. They learn that love does not always need grand gestures in order to be meaningful. Sometimes, a simple conversation filled with sincerity carries more beauty than any dramatic display. The person who loves you may feel joy simply by seeing you smile. They may feel a sense of purpose when they find small ways to encourage your spirit. Even simple acts of kindness may feel important to them, because your happiness genuinely matters to their heart. This kind of care reflects the love that God encourages within human relationships. It is patient, gentle, and sincere. It does not attempt to control or pressure another person. Instead, it creates a safe space where both hearts can grow stronger together. If you trust that God is guiding the unseen details of your life, even when you cannot yet see the full picture, type 666. As time continues moving forward, the connection between two hearts may begin revealing itself more clearly. Shared laughter becomes more frequent, conversations last longer than expected. Moments together feel peaceful rather than rushed. God sometimes allows these experiences to accumulate slowly so that both individuals can recognize the depth of what is forming between them. Instead of rushing into emotion without understanding, they build a friendship that naturally grows into love. Friendship creates a powerful foundation for lasting relationships. When two people truly enjoy each other's presence and respect one another's character, their connection becomes resilient against many of life's challenges. The chosen soul may begin noticing that this person listens carefully to their thoughts and feelings. Instead of dismissing concerns or changing the subject quickly, they offer thoughtful attention that shows genuine care. This kind of listening is rare in a busy world, and it often reveals the sincerity of a loving heart. God values sincerity more than outward appearance or temporary charm. The qualities that truly sustain a relationship are kindness, patience, humility, and faith. When these qualities exist within both individuals, their connection becomes something deeply meaningful. The person who loves you may also admire your devotion to God. They may respect the way your faith guides your decisions and influences the way you treat others. Shared spiritual values often create strong bonds because both hearts desire to walk in the same direction. When two people share faith, they support one another through prayer, encouragement, and spiritual growth. They remind each other of hope during difficult seasons and celebrate gratitude during peaceful ones. This shared devotion creates harmony within the relationship. Instead of competing or struggling for control, both individuals seek guidance from God as they move forward together. For many chosen souls, this type of love feels different from anything they experienced in the past. It carries calm assurance rather than emotional confusion. It grows steadily instead of appearing suddenly and disappearing quickly. What if abundance had always been influenced by a hidden brain signal, buried in classified records and never fully disclosed to the public? This frequency is now creating new pathways, attracting opportunities, and reshaping lives faster than expected. Thousands are already using it to draw wealth like never before. Click the link in the description and comments now and activate the money-attracting brainwave today. God allows this peaceful love to develop because He understands that true companionship should strengthen the spirit rather than exhaust it. The right relationship feels supportive, respectful, and nurturing. Over time, the chosen soul may realize that the love growing toward them is not accidental. It is the result of divine timing, carefully aligning two lives that were prepared through years of personal growth. What once felt like lonely waiting may now reveal itself as preparation. Every lesson learned, every moment of perseverance, and every act of faith helped shape the heart that is now ready to receive this blessing. Heaven never forgets the promises that God quietly places within a person's future. When the moment arrives for those promises to unfold, they appear with a sense of peace that reassures the heart. The love that God prepares rarely rushes forward in dramatic displays that overwhelm the heart. Instead, it grows patiently through repeated moments of sincerity, kindness, and respect that slowly build trust between two individuals who may not yet fully understand the significance of their connection. The person who has begun loving you may feel an unusual sense of peace whenever they are near you, even if they cannot completely explain why their spirit feels so comfortable in your presence. This peace does not come from temporary attraction or surface admiration. It grows from the deeper recognition of character, humility, and faith that shines quietly within your spirit. The person who cares for you may see a calm strength in the way you carry yourself, especially during situations that might overwhelm others. They may admire how you choose patience instead of anger and understanding instead of judgment. Over time, these observations create a quiet appreciation that continues growing stronger with every passing encounter. A conversation that once seemed ordinary may remain in their thoughts long after it ends, because something about your words carries warmth and sincerity that feels rare in a busy world filled with distraction. If you feel grateful that God continues working behind the scenes of your life, even when you cannot see the full picture yet, type 2020. Many chosen people once believed that their opportunity for deep companionship had already passed, especially after experiencing seasons where life seemed focused only on responsibilities, healing, and personal growth. During those years, the heart may have quietly accepted the idea that love was something meant for earlier chapters of life, rather than the present moment. Yet heaven does not operate according to human expectations or limited timelines.